Here's a ranked match as the support hammer Firebrand. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of like a meme because it kind of is. I wouldn't say that this is a good build, but honestly, I've got pretty good results on it and it's one of the more fun builds. So the idea is you give support to your team passively through the passive from your F2, which is shared through the virtues trait line, and then you give Aegis and quickness to your allies. And your support is kind of minimal, but you give a lot of CC and all of your CCs will chill. So you essentially disable the enemy and have an aggressive sort of support playstyle. And while the build is very squishy, you can still survive if you have really good kiting. So essentially what I want to do is not be alone ever. It's a support kind of rotational playstyle. And I want to just CC the enemy so that my team can land their damage. So if you're ever in those situations where you're playing a support and your teammates can't kill things and you just feel like you're wasting your time, this is a really good build for that because it's an aggressive support which keeps your team alive. It still has some decent healing and supportive capabilities, and then you just lock people down with all your CCs. But as you can see here, I'm getting caught out by myself, and when I'm alone, I am going to be very easy to pick off. So I'm going to go down here to the Vindicator, and then we're going to probably want to respawn and find someone on my team to rotate towards. So once again, you got to rotate like a support, stay with your team. You do have swiftness from your shout, the charge shout. It's not called retreat anymore, it's called charge. So you got to be aggressive. And the combos on this build are sort of based around going in a tome and then going out of a tome. So you got to think about like, okay, I have my F1 tome. I can use my 3 skill in my F1 tome and then leave the F1 tome immediately. And then from there land one of my hammer CCs or my axe or shield CCs. So you usually want to use the last page in your tome as either your fire 3 or your F3, which is your protection tome 2, which is a taunt, which is also a CC and will also chill. So all those chills coming out from whenever you CC is going to also disable them even further after they get out of the CC. So here I'm finally getting to support my allies here, and they're kind of running away from me a little bit, but I get immobilized, so I use the resistance there, and I'm getting chased again because the enemy knows that I am a support. So I put down my sanctuary, and this is a really good thing for this build because this build, its weakness is being essentially focused, and the counter to being focused is oftentimes sanctuary. Unless they have stability, then they can get through the sanctuary. So yeah, sanctuary is really good. And because I have taken sanctuary instead of the res signet, I have a lot less res potential, but sanctuary can also help you to revive allies because you can put it on their downstate body and it's really hard for enemies to cleave. Some classes can do it still, but a lot of classes get really denied by the fact that you have a sanctuary down. So I like to use sanctuary because I can choose to use it on myself and protect myself. And with the virtues trait, it's like a 40-second cooldown versus the 120-second cooldown on the signet. So right there you can see I put the sanctuary down in the walkway and I completely prevent them from going through, except for the Reaper who has stability. So you got to watch out for that. Now I am trying to survive. I use my hammer 2 to get a little bit of distance, and I need to get towards my team here. So I'm obviously the furthest one out, so I need to back up, and I go to support my team now. They're kind of low. I have some passive healing for them, and I can give them Aegis and quickness. But yeah, we're just going to stay with our team now. So I'm going to push out now. Actually, our catalyst is dead, but we're fine because we've also got a kill on their thief. So what we're going to do is try to get some support on our engineer here. They're kind of just running away from us though, so there's not really much I can do. I'm not that fast. My other Ellie is going around the back, so I'm going to try to go into mid, just see if my team will push up with me. And we've actually got someone going far, so we're in a pretty decent state right now. We've split their team, and I put down my sanctuary just to peel for myself so I'm not getting 2 players on me, but I have to have my team with me, so I'm waiting for my catalyst to come in. I am a bit low on cooldowns though. I put down my ring, and that keeps them from chasing me or anything, but I don't want to stand on the node because I am really low on cooldowns. So I try to put down my heals for my teammate here, and we're going to back off because they already own the node. There's no reason to stand on the node. So I give out some of my CCs. They're evading though, and trying to keep a little bit of distance. I am able to give support as long as I'm within 600 range because of my passive. And yeah, we're taking a lot of damage from the catalyst. They have a support. I put down my sanctuary in a pretty bad spot, to be honest. Should have put it up further so I could help my teammate there, but we're going to take a lot of damage here. I have to go into my elite, and I'm going to probably die. No, I'm surviving here. And yeah, their catalyst is jumping down to get me, but I'm doing pretty okay. I've got cooldowns now that I've used my elite, and I need to go in and support my catalyst, but now we're outnumbered here and I'm low on cooldowns, so there's not really much I can do to help them. So I'm just going to back off and try to help out my Hollowsmith, which maybe we can keep them alive. So I'm just giving out Aegis. This build does give out a lot of Aegis because you have pretty much every source of Aegis possible. And yeah, I landed a really good CC combo there. I'm going to put down my Sanctuary most likely here because the Reaper's on me, and that is extremely dangerous. But they're going to leave and use their axe abilities. I use my hammer to try to peel them off me. I have my F2 up soon, so I'm going to use that. Use the 5 and the 4 because those are the heaviest, kind of like effective tome skills you could use per page. And then I'm going to go back in and try to CC enemies. My teammate actually got a kill and their Reaper's low. So they leave, and I'm going to stay with my Catalyst to try to take out their Catalyst. And they're playing a little bit aggressively for being in a 1v2, so I have to back off. But because of that, they may be caught out. I missed my CCs there, but I'm going to put down Sanctuary just so we can decap the node. And I land no damage here, but I do use my ring, and that gets a lot of CC on them. And we also get a lot of chill, which is really good against any kind of ally, and that helps me to stick to them. Now I land my chill again. Yeah, so chill is really good versus a elementalist, so they were chilled, and that's why we got the kill there. But now we need to go help our Catalyst on mid because they might not be doing so good. A little bit of a swiftness combo there, actually. Yeah, you can combo with the hammer too and get like stealth with your allies. You can even use your hammer too. If you use your F2 tome, there's a water field on the 4 skill. So you can use that as your last tome ability in the healing tome, and then get out and use the hammer 2 for another like blast finisher for more stuff, healing. But we're in a 2v, we're in a 3v3 here, I think. Yeah, 3v3. I put down the Sanctuary on the node, which is a lot of peel for my team. And yeah, mostly this build will peel for its allies more so than heal, though the Aegis can really peel for its allies really well, but it depends. Like some builds it's really good to have Aegis against, some builds Aegis isn't too good. Now my ally goes down. I don't have the Signet, but I can go for a lot of CC. I use my F1 tome 3 skill, which is a CC. Also, I use the res bubble, so whenever I res an ally, I will knock back. So there is quite a bit of resing potential on this build, even though I'm not using the Signet. And if I did use the Signet, I'd be an even easier target because I wouldn't, you can't Signet yourself. So I use Sanctuary here to try to play safe, but as you can see, they can just hit me with attacks that can't be projectile reflected. And, there is a weakness to Sanctuary, but it's a low cooldown, so it's still pretty good. But I'm going to go down here, and because of that, we're going to lose the map most likely. Though it looks like we're getting a kill at home, so we're not in the worst spot. So I'm going to respawn and probably just go wherever my teammates are, right? I want to rotate as a support. So stick to your team. Don't try to go 1v1ing. This build has very low amount of damage, high amount of CC and enabling of damage, because your allies are getting quickness too. Whenever you give them a stability or Aegis, you'll give them quickness, and when you use your heal skill as well, you'll give them quickness. So yeah, very powerful build as an aggressive support, but a very squishy build. Now my ally died at far, but we need to hold mid, so I'm trying to play a little bit defensively around the objective and CC them before they get in, while my ally caps the node. We do get the full cap, and because of that, they have to prevent us from having this node, because we'll win with a 2 cap. And because of that, they push into all of our damage and CC, and we're able to get the kill because they were forced to essentially go out of position to stop us from winning because the game is so close to finishing. I also go in to prevent the Tempest here from decapping us and pull them back, give them a little bit of CC, and give them, well, they've got the magnetic aura now, so I get reflected there, but my catalyst will be fine there. So I'm going to go into far and make sure that they don't die, because essentially we can just AFK mid and win, but I'm going to go to far anyways. So this game is pretty much over. If you like this content though, you should subscribe for more. You should like the video to help me out. And if you're interested in any of the builds, then you can check out the builds link in the description. And I will see you all next time.